Hey guys, welcome to Flat Top King. Hey, today we're switching gears. Today is all about, should I deep fry on a griddle? We've got many different applications here to show you the goods, the pros, the bads, the cons. Should I, can I, and how I? Watch this. Deep frying on a griddle. I feel like I need to put a disclaimer for one reason. If you want to deep fry on your griddle, that's your prerogative. It's your equipment, it's your house, it's your money, it's your time, it's your effort, it's your everything. I'm not here to spoil anybody's parade. I see this a lot and I cringe. This is my second disclaimer. I wish more people would come out and say, let's not deep fry in thin aluminum pans. I don't know where people got the idea from. It actually seems like people were doing it way before griddles, and I just can't fathom the idea. And we're just going to touch base on it really quick. Yes, I know the aluminum's thin. Yes, I know it holds the oil, but the problem is, what happens if? Maybe it's just the military background. Maybe it's just common sense. Maybe it's just, like you see these videos all the time about these deep fat fryers. There's all these people every single year that just don't follow the simple instructions, and catastrophic things happen, right? You're supposed to, anyway, let's get off the deep fat fryer turkey. But the point is, there's a reason why there's rules. I'm surprised that there's not one for this. I really am. The two main reasons why I see is, first of all, if something happens, you're taking tongs, because not every time you're going to fry French fries or tater tots or something like that with like a rounded edge. More importantly, what's going to happen is you're going to take like a cutlet or something like that, lay it in there, and accidentally puncture the sides of one of these pans. There's no fill line, there's no nothing like that. So every time you fill it up with oil, you're just guessing to begin with. If that happens, your only, in my opinion, safeguard is your grease trap. Each grease trap is different. They all come in different sizes. You can see here that if your pan is pretty much full of oil and you can't stop it enough, then this probably won't house all the oil. And if it does, or if it doesn't, it's probably going to overspill. Or if it does, then you got lucky.
That's the Weber griddle grease trap.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Traeger. I've just got aluminum foil in it. I really don't use the aluminum foil pans. And this is the Halo. With that being said, once that's hole punctured, this is what I imagine. And I guess you guys can hopefully see it from my way. Panic sets in. What do I do with it, right? Your griddle's on. It's extremely hot. Some griddles have easier access to open flames than other ones. I remember my camp chef had that grease trough that runs down and over. A lot of people complain that the grease trough would be clogged by food debris at the end. Well, next thing you know, that oil's building back up, and now you've got, like a half a gallon of oil, or even a gallon of oil, depending on like what you've done, on your griddle with no place to go. I could imagine you trying to lift this up. If you put water in this and this is hot, it gets a little bit more flexible, and then it just bends. If it bends, then all of a sudden you're pouring grease out more. I'm not going to harp on this too much. That's just kind of like my piece. I'm in the boat of staying away from these aluminum pans. I'm going to keep it at that. You guys fry with it every single day and don't seem to have a problem with it, but I just dread to see the person that does and goes, oh crap. So, all right. The point of this video, should I deep fry on a griddle? The quick answer is not really. We do it for film purposes, but just because it incorporates different ideas and different things. But that's why, I ended up buying this a while back, because it gave me a burner out here. We personally have a Fry Daddy. This is the extra large one. We'll be able to show you this. Stainless steel pans like this, I'd love to see replaced. These are simple whole tail pans that we use in the restaurant business. And then even when we did the smoked and deep fried chicken wings, if you notice, cake pans. You wouldn't think so, but cake pans typically have a flatter bottom. They're typically wide enough. Cast iron skillets. You might think that cast iron skillets are the way to go because it absorbs so much heat. Now, I know the reason why you want to deep fry on the griddle. Same exact reason I have. And I'm sure it's for most people out there. To get the oils and the smells out of your house. I don't think the griddle is the best way to deep fry. If you're coming out here and you're cooking stuff on your griddle and you've already got that heat going, I can understand throwing something like this down here for like a cutlet. It uses minimal oil, minimal space on the griddle, and ultimately, if you're cooking stuff over here, you've already got your griddle on. I just can't justify turning my griddle on, putting a pan down, filling up with oil, and deep frying, because we're going to show you how long it takes versus other pieces of equipment that you can or should have. Some things of note of why I make this video. Recovery time and heat up time, okay? Most griddles, all griddles, have a flame source. The problem is this is never getting the direct source. So now you're required to put this on here, and this is supposed to absorb the heat from this. So now you got a two-stage system. That right there is just the problem. That's 100% the problem. It takes so long for the oil to heat up and so long for the oil to recover from the droppage of the oil temperature, okay? Let's get started with the video because I know I've already dragged on too long. I'm just going to press start, okay? The point is on the start is we are going to give you options on the griddle. My target temperature today is going to be 375.
Oil temp?
Yes, because you want to hit a little bit higher than normal when you're deep frying on the griddle. Because your temperature drops so much and it takes so long to recover, you need to hit a higher temp. We'll go to 350. It'll get hotter than 350, trust me. This is one of those things where it's got the dial on it, but I don't trust the dial for nothing. All right, we got 6 cups of oil in here, 6 cups of oil in there. To be honest with you, I know this isn't an apples to apples comparison because I've got different pieces of equipment. I understand that. The point is, I'm just trying to show you how effective these two are versus how inefficiently and how ineffective these are. Just to give you another idea, these are very, very low cost items. It won't hold near the amount of oil, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Typically, you know, when you fill something up, you got to have plenty of space to allow for the bubbles and stuff like that so it doesn't spill over. All right, to give the quick rundown, this right here has been 4 cups, this is 6 cups, and this is 4 cups. All right, we're at the 13-minute mark right now. Just crossed over the 14-minute mark, okay? We had to shut this off and rearrange it. My cord got stuck, but let's just say, you know, whatever, 13 minutes even. These two have kept up very, very, very well with each other. I'm going to, now that they've hit that mark, I'm just gonna have to turn it off. I'm gonna have to unplug it. Because you can control the heat on this one. I guess I could actually just turn it down. But this one is either on or off. That's what I'm saying. You can buy any one out there you want, but it recovers extremely fast. The point is, at the 14-minute mark, those are 360 to 370. This one hasn't even crossed over the 200 mark. $230.
And that's with the griddle on high.
Yeah, the griddle's on high.
You can see how much it's smoking.
And about 265. So I'm going to keep the timer going until these oils hit that about 360 to 370 mark.
Did you show us the temp in this one?
Well, it was side by side. They were the same temp. They kept up with each other extremely well. If you notice me moving things around on the griddle, I've always tried to teach you, you might as well season as you go. Same thing, your griddle's on. You got plenty of surface area you can work with. So I'm just taking a rag and trying to hit those dry spots. Since there's no food on your griddle, you're not really zapping the heat away from it, so that heat builds, and it's easy to dry out your griddle. So just make sure that you keep a good oil beside you. I just use the peanut oil that I use for frying. Keeps the griddle moist and actually just helps season the process. We're at the 25.5 to 26 mark, okay? So we ran into a problem I did not expect when I thought about this video. The cast iron is ready. This pan is not, and this pan is not. This is ready, and this is ready. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the first batch of French fries. Today, we're just gonna use French fries. They're all the same brand. We're gonna add about as much fries as I think the unit should hold. So this might be different than this amount, which was definitely gonna be different than this amount because you gotta worry about spillage and all that stuff. So to give you an idea, this cast iron pan has finally reached hopefully about 375. All right, so it's getting up there. So it's a little bit harder than what I need it to. Just going to show you really quick. It's actually surprising. I didn't expect these two to hold that much or take that long. So we're at 27 minutes, 28 minutes now. I've had to turn this off because this got too high. 370. And this should hit about 370. All right, so here we go. Let me put it over here to cool this one down a little bit. All right, really quick. I'll consider that a success when you're deep frying. 320, that's not bad. I know you think it dropped a lot, but honestly, it's not that bad.
That one had less French fries in it though too, didn't it?
This one? Yeah.
The cast iron.
Yeah. All right, we're at the 30-minute mark. Remember, this did have more oil in it. I'm about to drop fries in there. All right. "30-minute mark. The cast iron is holding extremely well. I thought it would. But it's taking us 30 minutes to get here. You can see that the oil has dropped way down on this right here. And I know what you're saying. Well, if you use an aluminum pan, it wouldn't have done that. The reason why we're not using aluminum pans, not as bad as I thought it was, is because I don't like deep frying in them. So I didn't think it was fair. I'm going to start pulling French fries when I think they're done. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no time clock on it. So now that our fries are done, let me see it first. About 320. So that's going to take a minute. So right now we're at the 34-minute mark. We're going to see how long that takes. The best way for me to have a French fry, shake that. It was never intended for it, but I'll be danged if it's one of the best things to put on there. Come back with a little Lowry's. That's a good seasoned fry right there. Ooh, that's good. You can see the heat's building in this immediately with the fries out. So 330, 228, that's not bad at all.
328.
328, yeah. I was probably able to get about 50% more, which is my guess, French fries in these two than I was the cast iron. Which makes sense.
You got to check the temp on this one.
Which makes sense because you don't have that much space in the cast iron skillet. Now you could have done it, I've got a bigger one I could have done it with. See, these two right here are running neck and neck. These two bad boys right here are still humming around the low temperature mark. We're at 38, 37 minutes right now. Only at 250.
I mean, that's the original batch of fries that was in there.
Yeah. Let's check our cast iron. So we just got up to temperature right there. Still pretty low. We're at the 43-minute mark to make a batch of fries. This and this both were ready in about 12 minutes with about 6 cups of oil in each. Okay, that's pretty efficient.
Let's see the view from this way.
When you come over here, you know, we didn't get started until what, the 30-minute mark, 32-minute mark. I think the cast iron won the battle of the cake pan versus the stainless steel pan. This is deeper, so I can understand why this one battled a little bit. I honestly thought this would win because it is thinner, which would remind you of why we would use aluminum pan to begin with. I think it just could be that right there. The fact that it doesn't have equal, it's probably warping because it doesn't have equal pressure on the griddle, so you're not getting that straight contact. And once again, your tried and true method, your $20 cast iron skillet, wins again. There's just multiple reasons for it. It's easier to pour out. You got your pour spouts. You've probably already got this in the kitchen. So if you are going to griddle out, if you are going to fry outside, more power to you. I just think there's more efficient ways to do this than to turn all your burners on high. Stand out here it's taken us 44 minutes now. So a fair representation how to fry that with one batch of French fries was probably 32 to 34 minutes. You know, that's a long time. That is a long time. So I'm gonna get the rest of these fries out and finish this video up. All that propane used for 45 minutes is a ton of propane to be able to run a piece of equipment. You might be thinking, well, why don't you cut a burner off? You probably could get away with cutting a burner off. The problem is, what griddle do you have? Some griddles are more powerful than others. Also, you need that heat. You can't have both of these eyes or both of these burners on high and just leave this one off for 45 minutes. I don't think that's a good way to treat your griddle to begin with, all because we're just trying to deep fry. You need that 360 heat to be able to absorb into that second layer of metal. And next, depending on what you use, is how do you get rid of your grease? How do you dispose of it? We're lucky with this one. What I'm going to do, I'll strain all my grease and reuse it. It's got to cool down. But when you talk about pans like this, luckily the cast iron pan has some pour spouts. This is a messy disaster. Like, this gets messy. That's just the bottom lines. And I know people understand that when they deep fry. I would just like to see more people staying away from the aluminum pans. And if you are going to deep fry on the griddle, I think the cast iron won. And then, if you're serious about it, I asked my wife, I said, how many times do you think we seriously deep fry something a year? Like, what is the average person deep fries? Do you think it's 10 times a year? I don't know if that's fair for me to say or you guys to say, but that's probably a fair assessment, 10 times a year. So when you look at the dollar value, I can't remember, this is $30, $40. This was, I think, $40. You can get a smaller one if you want to. This is the XL. We've had this for multiple years. Like I said, the Lodge skillet was $20. If you go a step bigger and go to 12 inch, you're looking at 30, 35 bucks. So price-wise, we're all about the same category. I think these are more efficient. I think you can actually do more with them besides just deep frying, especially this unit right here. If you want to bring your grease outside, well, now, all of a sudden, if you don't want to use your griddle consistently, you can reduce the sauce, you can keep something warm, you can bring your mashed potatoes out, you can boil potatoes. Let's say you're doing or noodles. Let's say you're doing a beef stroganoff. Bring your noodles outside, boil it here, strain your noodles, and then there you go. You can add them right to the griddle top. So the whole point of this video is just give you a different point of view, a different perspective, and hopefully just makes you a better griddler and more efficient. If you guys are interested, we have a join button down below. It's a membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. You can also check us out on the Griddle Group on Facebook, where this gets brung up all the time, which is why I wanted to address it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share it with your friends. Peace.